Hi everyone, Simon here. Just a quick video today about retro-brighting, which should give your old yellow retro equipment a nice bright look. Let's get rid of that yellowing, get them back to their former glory. Hi everyone, here we are. So what do we need to do to how do we start this retro-brighting process? It's quite simple. You get yourself some of this, which is 40% volume, 40 volume, 12% peroxide, lifts up to 8 to 9 shades. It is just hydrogen peroxide, 12% that you get. I bought this in Boots, pack of 3, not that kind of pack of 3, for about £4.99, which I don't know what that is in US dollars or other currency. I struggle with my own currency. I'll let you work it out. Great British Pounds. Great British Pounds? GBP? Yeah. And then UV lights, which, as you can see, I stuck mine to a piece of cardboard. They didn't stick too well, so I've got to fix this. But it's great me showing you all this, but what does it actually do? Well, I've got one that I did overnight. So this took overnight. It can, from what I can tell, there is no fixed time for this to actually take. So what I did is I tried one last night to make sure it worked. And that is what, I don't know whether you can make out that yellow there, just how yellow it is. I'll switch off a few lights and see whether you can. Yep, so that's zero help whatsoever. But maybe if I put that next to it, in fact, yes, I can see the difference there. You see, this one's nice and light. That one's quite dark in comparison. This one has been treated overnight with the it's termed retro-brighting. So obviously this one has, this one hasn't. If you notice, the inside, it's the same colour as the outside. Yeah, there's some scuff marks on it, but I can't help that. But it was all that colour. Looks as though it's been in a smoker's house. And now I suppose you'd like to know how to do it. Here you go. Well, let's first of all fix stuff up. So as I mentioned, we're going to use this stuff. Let's put some lights back on so we can see what we're doing. Yeah, won't bother with all the lights. Yeah, so the peroxide and UV light. Why is it gone yellow? Simple really. It's an ABS plastic. I believe it's an ABS plastic. And they put bromine or bromide in it as anti-inflammatory, so stop it bursting into flames, that kind of stuff. And what happens over the years, the UV reacts with it and it brings it to the surface. That's what causes the yellowing. But anyway, yeah, so it stops it, anti-flaming fire thing. Fire retardant. There we go, a fire retardant. That sounds better. Yeah, and so what we're trying to do is reverse the process. You can scrub it to hell. You can probably take a layer off, but then you're going to get rid of the original patina. Or you can do it this way, which is chemically, and reverse the process. So let's say we cover it with this, then we expose it to UV light for a length of time. I've seen nobody's actually said how long it needs. And nobody's said though that you can't leave it in too long. So I've gone along the lines of, well, let's just bang it in for 12 hours. And what I did was last night, before I threw my head on the pillow, is I was in here, covered it in goop, wrapped it in cling film or saran wrap if you're US, what it's known as, and stuck it in the cabinet that I built, which I shall show you shortly. In fact, I'll show you it now. So I found an old cardboard box. You've all seen cardboard boxes before, and lined it with tin foil. No, that's not to protect from heat. That is purely and simply to reflect the UV. Nothing more than that. It does insulate it as well, because actually when I opened it up this morning, it was quite warm. I have read or seen mention that people saying, yeah, you've got to have it heated. Well, I've just proved you don't. This was done inside the house. There was no smell, because that was something I was a bit concerned about, that it was going to proper stink and be a bit nasty. But no, it was all fine. It was all good. And that's a quick measure. I just tore a piece of, I think this was actually an old notice board that had cork on one side. Still does have. You can't see that, there we go. So, and I stuck these down and just hit them with a bit of hot glue, hot snot, which didn't obviously work. So what I'm going to do now is quickly fix it. I don't want to make it too permanent because this box is not big enough to fit a full Commodore Amiga in. So I'm thinking, I could cable tie it or something like that, but then I remembered I have got a load of this enamel copper wire. That'll do perfect. I can just knock a little hole in and poke this through. So I need something to, little pokey stick to, there we go, poke little holes in. I say a little. What do we think? Doesn't need more than that, does it? Hi everyone, here we go. So I've stitched it with copper wire, enamel copper wire, and that should hold it in place. I mean, it's not going to get too much rattling around. I maybe could have put some tin foil on the back just as a reflector, but we're ready to rock and roll. Next I'm going to set up ready to get the base of the power supply, get that covered up and ready to rock and roll. It's easy. It is really easy. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but I'm sure somebody out there isn't sure how to do it. You've probably seen it, you've probably read about it, but it's that having that bit of assurance to go, yeah, okay, I'm happy in how that works now. I was like that. I've got to be totally honest. I did feel very much that way. I do have a handy little tip, but I'll show you that as we go. So I shall get prepped up and ready to go, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so this is what I found that works well for me. Some nitrile gloves, a couple of Nero espresso cups. So we've got the piece of equipment that we want to Retr0brite, that's what it's known as, and our cling film, and I really should clear some junk away. Okay, so we're in a better place now. I say a better place, it's a little bit better. Right, so we'll put that to one side because we don't need that yet. Gloves we're going to need shortly, and we'll put everything to one side. And we'll go over what these are for. Simple. So when this is sat in the bottom of the box, it's going to be right in the bottom. So what I do is I sit on a couple of these cups, lift it off the bottom, and we know that we're going to get exposure to the UV all around the edges, and it's not going to be sat on the bottom, so there should be reflection there. The only reason I'm doing that is because actually when I did the top, that, because of the protrusions, sits up nicely and the sides are perfect. So I was trying to figure out a way of doing it. So I say usually do it. This is the... Okay, so this is the first time I'm doing it. Let's see how it goes. It should work. Or at least the theory is sound. So we'll lay out our... Oh, a little bit of blue tack. I'll try and do it so that you can actually see what I'm doing here. And the only reason I'm putting the blue tack out is fun. Sorry about that. It was the wifey. Can't ignore the wife. Well, I can, but it'll only happen once. So all I'm using the blue tack for is just to help or prevent the cling film from turning into a giant knotty mess. Because you know, when you're wrapping your sandwiches and that kind of stuff, you always get that. I mean, this stuff is great. Please show me how to square it better. Right. There we go. It's nearly okay. I think we'll have it that way around. And those will fold over. See, this is where I'm still learning. What I found is I ended up with a lot on the top of it, which is, and I was thinking afterwards, it was just like, you know, I should maybe put it to one side and just roll it over so there's only one cover on it. Might try that today. Right, okay, so this stuff isn't particularly nasty, but I mean, that I rubbed my fingers in some earlier, and it just leaves a white mark on your hands. Other people, it might take skin off. So be careful, use appropriate protection. I can't tell you what appropriate protection you need to take. I'm not trying to tell you what protection to take, but make sure you use appropriate protection. I cannot be held responsible for you drinking, slurping, doing anything daft with this stuff. Follow the instructions on the bottle. I am doing my own thing. So now that's out the way, one thing I did forget was a small paintbrush. You'll see why. I've just had to run off and raid my wife's supply of making stuff. So there we go, so we're ready. Give it a shake, I guess. And well, we can put them to one side. And it is literally, sorry about the noise of airplanes there, that's actually, I live next to a small private airfield, which makes me sound, well, yeah, it's not, yeah, I use the cafe at the airfield every now and again, that's the lot. So there we go, that looks, just using the paintbrush to get into all the edges. Put the lid on and try and do this now so that I don't make it all fall over. Yeah, that's better this time. So what's the idea in the cling film? I hear you screaming. It is literally nothing more than to prevent the fluid from evaporating in the warmth. Some people set these up so that it sits at 50 degrees centigrade. I was seeing, which is a pain in the ass in the UK because hell, you got to have some sort of strange heater in there. So I'm just, yes, I just knocked over one of the tubs. There we go. Right, so I shall lift this over. There we go, so it sits in there. I'll put the lid on, switch it on, let it bake for, what time is it now? It is 14:36. So I'll probably leave this until 10ish tonight, 10 PM. Take the lid off and I'll do another little video of this completing. Hopefully you'll be able to see a nice white, same as the lid, power supply. So I'll actually do a separate video on that because we'll go into a few other bits and pieces. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. Please feel free to subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. Then you're going to get notifications if I release more videos. If you like the video also, please hit the thumbs up and let me know. If you don't like the video, fine. Hit the thumbs down, but please give me feedback as to why you've hit the thumbs down so that I can improve for next time. Thanks again, take care and be well.